morning, Walker. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? Wow, you got a lot of energy.
Wow. Being a radio personality, I love names like Walker Wilson because I would love to talk on your song intro and sell that song the way that jocks are supposed to sell that song.
That's awesome.
I mean, because so many times, the people on the radio will sit there and go, all right, here's that new song from Walker Wilson. It's like, dude, you should be excited about hearing this song from Walker Wilson.
I love the way you say that. Say it again. Say it one more time.
You can sit there and say 95.7 KROQ. It's Walker Wilson on the radio right now. Brand new.
I like that. That sounds cool.
Dude, I mean,
like that.
Well, I love your passion for music. I mean, my God, you moved to Nashville. You totally understand the journey. You know you've got to pay your dues, and my God, you are doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am. I moved there in June of 2021, and I was telling one of the guys earlier that it was almost a year on the date of moving to Nashville that I got the call from The Voice, and it's just been a life-changing experience up until this point.
To be on that stage, though, I mean, we all imagine it on this side of the flat screen TV. You've actually planted your feet on that stage. Does it have the energy that we all fantasize about?
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially during the blind auditions. That's what I've told my family and whatever. Everybody's asked, "Were you nervous? Were you nervous?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was nervous because you go out there with 80 people. You go out to LA with 80 people, and you have 1 month to think about 90 seconds. And that day comes that you go to sing for 90 seconds. You have to sit in the back and you have to hear people go up and get a chair turned and hear people go up and go home. And you finally get your 90 seconds and you walk out and you stand behind these big red doors and all you're doing is waiting for them to open. You're not even allowed to touch them. You have to stand right there on one spot holding a microphone. And it feels like forever. You can hear your heartbeat. You can hear the air around you. You hear they call your name, doors open. You go to the stage and there's not a peep. Nobody's saying anything when you get out there. And then you have to sit there and wait for what feels like forever for the band to come on. And for me, during that time period, I was just taking as many breaths as I had in my body and just calming myself down. And band starts and you got one shot and you waited a month to do this. And you're just praying somebody turns around in that moment. And then they do.
Yeah.
And when they do, your whole body goes insane. Your whole body goes wild and you don't know what to do and you forget how to sing for a minute and just life hits you right in the face and you think you're going to get sick, but you don't. And you make it to the end. You make it to the end and you talk to the judges, coaches, if you will, and you're just relieved because it was not a waste. You didn't do it for nothing. And you go hug your family and you get in a van, go to a hotel.
You saying that totally went into my heart in the way of we're all complaining about how fast life is moving, but you just proved to us that moment took a lifetime to experience.
A lifetime. It took I had dinner with Kason the other day and we talked about it. And I was like, I don't think I've ever felt that much pressure before in my life. And I've been a bouncer. I've gone into something knowing I'm about to get into a physical altercation. And I've never been that nervous, that much pressure, that much in my head. Like you could almost feel the pressure on your body.
Yeah.
It felt like you're getting your blood taken or like your blood pressure checked by your whole body just squeezed tight. And it was cold in there.
Oh, I can't. I've been in studios, dude. I mean, it's like, come on, does anybody believe in heat in this place? Let me get a campfire going here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was cold.
Let me talk to you about that moment when you're out there on that stage. Now, when I get into a deep, where I'm about ready to perform, it's almost like my hearing goes away. Did you feel that too? Because, I mean, you've got that thing in your ear, but suddenly that pressure is on you because your first breath, your first note, here it comes, now.
For me, I'm weird, man. And it's a blessing and a curse. But for me, like, when it comes time to do something, I really lock it in. Like I try to get into this zone that if I'm not in it, I don't even want to be there. When I play music outside of it, I try to get into a zone. And sometimes that means I've got to close my eyes. Sometimes that means I've just got to hear one cheer.
Yep.
I mean, it's weird. It's super, super weird. But when I sang that first note, I cannot tell you anything about it until the song was over.
That's right.
I can't tell you anything about it. I remember Blake's chair turning kinda, but I think it's a skewed memory from TV. But I don't really have a decent memory of his chair turning around, what his face looked like, or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much from it at all. And that's the zone I like to get in. I like to leave shows, and it's almost like you had a bad night at the bar where the next day, like, memories are coming back to you and you were just sober because you were so locked in. And that really is how I like when I watched my battle round where I yell at Kaysen.
Mm-hmm.
My dad called me and said, "Do you remember doing that?" I was like, "No, I remember doing that at all." And like, I had to really think about it, and I had to dive back, and I remember a little bit of emotion coming over me during that time period. And I guess that's what came out. I didn't recall doing it at all.
Wow.
And so that's kind of my frame of mind doing it, is like I really put the pedal down and invest in what I'm doing in that moment.
Yeah. One of the things that inspires me about you is that you are not afraid to identify the house band. And so many times, because we've got Coyote Joe's here in Charlotte, and yeah, there's a band, but nobody is talking about the members of that band. And I love the fact that you recognize them.
Oh, yeah, dude, they're freaking amazing. Those guys are, like, they're the best guys in the world, in my opinion. And, like, people didn't know, like, me and Kaysen, we're band geeks, too. And so, like, we went to go do our battle. This is super funny. We went to go do our battle, and if you don't know, Kaysen is a really big rocker, and he's a really big fan of rock.
Yep.
And so when we flew out to L.A. the second time, not Haley Witters, the girl from Paramore, I can't think of her name. Whatever, the girl that sings in Paramore, I don't even know her name. Kaysen was like over the moon, the fact that she was on our plane. So that being said, when we get to LA for our song, Justin, who is Pink's guitar player, was playing with the band, and Kaysen's like, "Dude, I've been a fan of him my whole life." So like, yeah, we knew who the band was. Like we dug in. I wish they could have shown y'all some of the clips from behind the scenes of, like, we went and Googled Paul, the guy that's the band director, and we found out all this crazy stuff about him. And like, we had an hour and a half with him when we spent half the hour talking about everybody's history in the band. Nate, the drummer, dude knows what he's doing. Like, Sasha, the bass player, cool dude. Like, we just got to know everybody. So yeah, that band is sick.
That's one of the things that I've loved about modern day music and its musicians is that everybody is so willing to share. I mean, look at the members of Tesla reaching out there to help out up and coming rockers and things. Bands are investing in the future of their sound.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, dude, this is what a lot of people don't know about the boys. During the blind auditions, y'all rarely see the band. They have to learn every single song exactly the same way over and over and over for 80 to 100 people every few months. And then for every one of them, they have to know those songs. That's 80 songs they had to learn for our guys. And that's all the way from, it's like Spanish music to rock, to big choral stuff, to country. And they've got to be able to replicate it to a T, all the way down to the drums.
Wow.
And they can do it. It's nuts. I don't know how they do it, but yes, that band is amazing.
So when you walk through the Country Music Hall of Fame right there in Nashville, what artist is pulling you closer? Which one have you stood beside the most with the showcase?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never walked through the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
Okay. All right.
I was going to one day, but it was crowded. And I was like, man, I live here. I'll go one day. I just haven't done it yet.
To be a part of Team Blake, one of the things I've loved about Blake is that he sees the present, but he's also got that huge foot of his in the future. Do you learn from that?
I like to try and learn as much as I can from Blake.
Yeah.
So are you asking, like, just looking forward? Is that what you're asking me?
Absolutely. In other words, it's like, okay, I've lived my past. I'm all about being in the present and growing in the future.
Oh, yeah, that's me 100%. 100%. Like, if I mess up, which if y'all don't know this, if you do music for a living and messing up hurts your feelings, then that sucks. I hate it for you because you're going to mess up every single day. And if I mess up, oh, well. Like, I had a show the other night I didn't do great on, but I did pretty good. And I learned from it. And I learned about a mistake that I had made the night before that caused me to mess up that next day. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make that mistake again. And that's how you have to live your life. Mess ups happen. And the people that hold on to your mess ups, they're not really a fan of you anyway. And the ones that saw your mess up and forgive you, those are the people that are going to ride with you because they know you're a human.
Oh yeah.
So I try to keep that mindset and just move forward and learn as much as possible.
Every musician has had a Spinal Tap moment. Something has gone wrong, but you for some way, somehow, you make your way through it.
Mm-hmm. I was actually going over this thing that I've had in my head a lot. I have a whiteboard in my room, and on that whiteboard, I have written in capital letters, it says listen. And that applies to everything I do. And I may get it tattooed. And it's just listen to yourself perform, listen to your mistakes, listen to your praise, and listen to the people that tell you where you messed up.
Yep.
And that's just always what I try to do, is just always have my ears on and my mouth off as much as possible so that I can, you know what I mean? And I'm still a singer, and I talk to people and whatnot, but I try to genuinely shut up and listen as much as possible and learn for the future.
I love your attitude. Walker, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
All right. Give me a call. I'd love to.
All right, man. Will you be brilliant today?
You too, buddy. Good talking to you.